大家好，我是夕阳小新，天际线2代经济与生产的开发组专访如期而至，这也是 CEO 放假归来之后第一个专访，我们赶紧看看有什么新的情报。老规矩，逐帧分析，稍后奉上。
Let's get down to business and talk some economy. The economy in Cities Skylines 2 has been remade from the ground up. We have strived for more realism in the simulation of households as well as businesses in the city. We wanted to create a system that is complex, but it's not complicated. The economy system also is designed to balance itself out so that it helps new players as well as newly found cities. The government subsidies help new players in the early hours of the game by helping the economy of the city. The government subsidies will cease eventually when your city becomes self-sufficient. Experienced players will reach this point earlier in the game as they can optimize their city to their liking. The households receive government subsidies in the form of unemployment benefits as well as financial aid. The idea is that there are many moving parts in the economy, and this creates variation in how the businesses as well as the citizens react to things. We wanted to give it great depth so that it serves the game now and in the future. The households comprise children, teens, adults, and seniors, and each of these age groups has their own preferences when it comes to spending money and resources that they want to buy. When households look for suitable places to live, they look for a place where they can get resources, aka shopping places. They also value the proximity of jobs as well as schools. For example, if you have a family with children, they prefer to live close to an elementary school if possible. Different families also require a different amount of space. If you have single households, they can live comfortably in low-rent housing or in one of those tall apartment towers. But if you have family with children, they prefer the larger spaces like detached houses or apartment buildings. If the citizens can't find a suitable place to live because they are poor and cannot leave the city, they can become homeless. And sometimes you can see homeless people residing in parks in your city. In the case of industries and the businesses overall in your city, the industrial companies take resources and then turn them into other types of goods that they then ship to companies that sell them to their end users. This usually means the citizens in your city. Some of the goods are also transported outside of the city into the outside connections. The industrial companies want to be close to where they get their resources, but they also want to be close to the places that they then send the goods that they are producing. The smoother the transition from getting the resources and producing them and then shipping them to other companies and end users, the better the profit margin for the companies will be. The economic situation of the city also affects how the companies function in your city. If the economic situation is good, the companies will increase their production, and this also means that they can hire more workers. If the economic situation becomes bad, the companies will reevaluate their production, and this means that they will scale it down and lay off unnecessary workers. That would be great, but why can't I say it like...
You just said it. That's a usable take.
Is it? Is it? Okay, great! In the case of commercial companies, while they also want to be close to the place where they get their products, the more important aspect of their existence is to be close to the customers themselves. So a lot of commercial companies benefit from the proximity of residential areas. And it is always the people who buy the stuff that keep these companies afloat. The customers are important for the commercial companies because they are the ones who choose what to buy and where. So if the commercial companies are located far away from the potential customers, they're less likely to get that foot traffic into their shop. And I guess it's also a little bit about the efficiency, like how good are they at selling. Industrial companies, their thing is that the workers, their effort is turned into production. And the more efficient it is, the higher the production is. And in the case of commercial companies, the workers are turned into service. And the better they are, the more they can service, which means that more people can be in the shop, and it means that more people buy the products, which then means that the product is probably going to be cheaper, just like in real life when you have large stores that can sell for cheaper than small corner stores. And that was that. Can we use that? The office companies are a form of industrial companies. Offices use electronics to make software, and they can then send this software to other office companies who turn it into media, banking, and telecom. We've also wanted to update the companies in Cities Skylines 2, and one of those updates was that we wanted to have a more realistic number of workers in each company. So now you can have office towers with, well, hundreds of workers. In Cities Skylines 1, we had industrial specializations that you could zone in, just like the normal industries. But in Cities Skylines 2, the specialized industry areas include farming, where you have livestock, cotton farming, vegetable farming, and grain farming. Then we have stone, ore, and mineral mining, as well as oil drilling and forestry. And now you have specialized industry areas that you create by first placing the hub building on the map, and then creating an area where that hub building operates. So if you have an oil field in your city, you can just create an area over the oil field, and you'll soon see different types of oil manufacturing buildings appear in that area. I personally really like the livestock option of farming because you can see all the animals walking in the area. Unlike the regular industry in your city, the specialized industry areas can't go bankrupt. They will instead just adjust their production according to the situation in your city. If there's a surplus for any goods in your city, the companies will export them to outside connections. The more goods that they export to outside connections, the less profit they will make because their transportation costs will increase over time. There are three things that affect the transportation cost and potential profit when transporting goods. These are the price of the good, the weight of the good, as well as the size of the good. The loan system in Cities Skylines has been reworked. You can now take one loan, and the loan limit increases as you reach new milestones. And you can also adjust the loan at any time in the game. You can either lend more money or pay back some or all of the loan. We've also overhauled the tax system. You can adjust the residential taxes by education level and all of the business taxes by products. If you want to incentivize certain businesses in your city, you can help them by adjusting their taxes. And if you want to really help the production of these companies, you can subsidize it by setting negative taxes. Each city service has a service budget that you can adjust, and this service budget affects the city services' efficiency. Some city services also have service fees that can be adjusted, and adjusting these will affect the behavior of the citizens who use these services. In the production tab, you can see all of the available resources in the game. You'll see how much money you have made through taxes on those products, as well as their deficit or surplus. On the production tab, you can also see the inputs for the different products, as well as where those products are used. And that's that. Great. Yeah, thanks for watching.